Hello, hello. All right, so I went ahead and implemented a little bit of what the assignment asks you to do. To give you a starting point, one of the things that is not mentioned in the assignment as a requirement, but it's an implicit requirement, is that when you just like when you add widgets, it's implied that widgets are within a lesson or within a topic, right? It's within a context. Yes. So same thing here. When you create questions, it's within the context of a question. I'm sorry, within the context of an exam, right? So you add questions to an exam, right? And exams is just one type of widget, yes. And it would be a widget added to a topic or lesson, yes, right? So we've been building all that on the web side, right, where we've been doing the navigation from course to modules to lessons to widgets, right? But we don't have any of that in the React Native part, okay? So instead of asking you to build all that or providing, you need to somehow determine, which lesson are we adding the exam to, right? What lesson are we adding the assignment to? You need a context. So I built this little user interface that should get you going, at least to that part, right? With providing a context. So let's see. So here, this is the same code base that we were looking at yesterday, right? So I just added an additional button here, right? That if you click on courses, it lists all the courses, right? So these are all the courses already in the database. I went out and fetched the data, and this is dynamically rendered. And then you can drill down, right? Drill down from courses. Then these are the modules, right? In that course, if you go back and you go down another course, you have different modules, okay? And if you go down, you have different lessons for that module. If you go back up and you go down webdev, you go down to React. These are the lessons for React. I didn't do topics. I only went down to lessons. So if you're doing topics, you'll need to add an additional part to this. Then these are the widgets. I only did the exams because that's the focus of this particular assignment. Right, so these are a couple of questions 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, and 3, 4, 5. And as a description of the assignment, this is a quiz. A quiz is just a collection of questions, yes? And these are questions 1, 2, 3, and question 2, 3, 4 under that exam. And there are different types of questions. One is a true-false question, and one is a multiple-choice question. I only did those two because yesterday we created forms for both of them, remember? Right, maybe we did only true and false. Did we do true and false? Anyway, I think what I did is I just copied the true and false, and I'll change it a little bit to make it different. So if you go down to question 1, 2, 3, notice that it's a true and false. So now you're in the editor of the true and false question, right? If you go back, you can still look at all the questions, and you can go down to the 2, 3, 4, which is a multiple choice question. See that? All right, based on the type of question, you'll go one way or another. Right? All right, so I have that. So I'll provide the source code for this, and we'll go over it in a bit. We'll go over it together. The other part that I'm going to provide to you is, which, I mean, you're free to use it or not, but a starting point for the data model part. And we'll go over this in more detail in a minute, but here are the courses, the course data model that contains many modules, and then each module containing many lessons, and then each lesson containing many widgets, and then one widget having an inheritance relationship, right, as a single table, right? That's the denormalized, which we did by hand last time, but here's an implementation of using JPA. Right now, JPA is going to handle all this for us as opposed to us doing it by hand. So that's the inheritance, single table inheritance. And then we have, I only have exam. Exam is the only one who's extending that widget, All right, so I only have an exam extending the widget, but you could have all the other ones, right? The headings, the titles, the YouTube videos, all those could extend widget just as this. And notice that the exam has a list of questions, right? List of questions. If you go down to question, a question is the base class. Is the base class of which there are many types of questions, right? So there'll be 3 or 4 types of questions that are going to all inherit from this base class, and the way they're going to be implemented in the database is using a different strategy, the joined strategy, right? That means that instead of using the single table, right, that we capture all the fields for all the subclasses, here it's a joined table, meaning each class will have its own table, right? So the true and false question is going to go in one table. The multiple choice questions are going to go in a different table. The fill in the blanks will go in a different table. And this one will only capture the properties that are common to all, right? And then they need to be joined back. Right? You don't have to do that. That's all done by JPA. So we'll go over this in a bit. But again, I'm going to provide you with this as a starting point, right? And feel free to reuse as much or as little as you want. Okay. All right. So let's go and look at some of the concepts behind all these.